Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust 2 reference 116300. You can see and you can purchase this 41mm discontinued Rolex reference on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this broadcast to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details for this discontinued Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust 2. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. The watch is large, but it's larger than 41mm suggests. You can see the Oyster case form has always been more cushion than round. As a result, the watch takes up a great deal of wrist real estate. 41 from 9 to 3, not inclusive of the crown. The watch is not excessively thick, however, only 12mm thick. Nevertheless, it is approximately 53mm, verging on 53.5 from lug to lug. The watch has impressive span across the wrist, and because of the Oyster lug profile, it is broad. It's broad at extremity. It never fully tapers off. So if you want to think about the fit and the feel of this watch, think more 43, 44mm watch, and you'll get the general idea. Now on a full solid end link, solid center link, milled clasp Oyster bracelet, the watch has immense heft, but the heft of the watch head itself is counterbalanced nicely by the substance of the bracelet and that beautiful clasp. Polished inside and out, it features Rolex's Easy Link 5mm tool-free adjustment for sizing on the fly for periods of activity, inactivity, hot or cold. And as with all of the modern Rolex milled clasps, closes and opens with a snick and a snap that really satisfies. Now, the Datejust 2 was introduced at Baselworld 2009 and discontinued after Baselworld 2015. 2016 saw the debut of the Datejust 41, which on paper might seem like the same watch, but in fact they're best described as yin and yang in terms of aesthetic. The Datejust 41 is a little softer, more refined, more elegant, more feminine in the proportions of its indices, the tapers of its lugs, the breadth of its bezel, and I mean the width of the bezel from actual side to side. The Datejust 2 that I have here is a little bit more masculine. It looks more massive. It has the broader indices, the wider lugs. It has the broader bezel, and that really shows through on this steel example because the mass of the bezel is sometimes just a little bit, I'll say, masked by the fluted treatment in precious metal. In the steel iteration, you see the greatest contrast with the successor Datejust 41, and some just prefer that more forceful look that the Datejust 2 retains. So the 2009 to 2015 Datejust 2 is an impressive watch that in many ways fixed one of the cardinal defects, the aesthetic quirks of the original 36mm Datejust. From 1954 on, the Datejust featured a Cyclops eye, and it still does to this day. On the 36mm case, the dial winds up seeming a little crowded, dominated by that magnifier. On the 41, it has more room to extend out and breathe, and one of the advantages of the larger indices of the Datejust 2 over the Datejust 41 is that when they are luminescent, as in this model, they provide considerably more legibility at night. Far more powerful with broader swaths of luminova. The Datejust 2 is easier to read than its finer successor. Mechanically, this watch features the Rolex caliber 3136, which is essentially a 3135, correctly sized for the larger case. Now it has a twin lock crown screw down, and basically imbuing the watch with sports watch water resistance. 100 meters can be sufficient for everything but professional diving, so you don't need to hesitate to take this one in the water if you screw down the crown. Now the watch is automatic winding smooth in both directions per Rolex precedent. You can't feel rotor wobble and you can hardly hear it. The watch has approximately a 48-hour power reserve. It does feature hacking seconds, so you can stop the seconds when you pull the crown, synchronized to a reference time, and there is a quick set for the date. The 48-hour power reserve is channeled through a free-sprung balance architecture mounted on a full dual-anchored balance bridge, so it has robust resistance to shock and vibration-induced timing deviation. It also features a Breguet overcoil hairspring in parachrom bleu, the overcoil providing concentric beating in any position for resistance to gravity or position-induced timing deviation. The parachrom bleu alloy basically imbuing the watch with a much, much, much higher threshold of magnetic resistance than you'll find in the standard ISO 764 anti-magnetic watch criteria. Of course, everything inside and without the watch is manufactured in-house, right down to the actual hands and indices themselves. So when you buy a Rolex, you're buying a Rolex that is all Rolex. You can see and you can purchase this discontinued stainless steel Oyster Perpetual Datejust 2 on our website.